DVDs. So yeah, catching up on videos. I went. When was this? Thursday. I guess it was Thursday just gone. Today is Sunday, the 21st of July. Oh, I just realised I'm 32 next month. Oh no, 21st of August. Oh my gosh. Oh no. I'm going to pretend I never said that. And I implore that you do the same. We were talking about this at the mental health wellbeing hub in Northfield, the Creative Support Northfield, the Northfield branch of Creative Support. Um, and people are giving their ages, and I joked, I'm going to be 22 next month. So you can tell the stickers helpfully remind which came from which charity shop, but I did deduce yesterday as well when I was thinking they all came from the same charity shop, and then I looked at the receipt and saw a discrepancy there with regards to that thinking. So this is Goosebumps. I think they made two of these movies, both with Jack Black. This is the first one, I believe. Only £1. This was from not Stoneham Hospice. This would have been from Scope. This was from Scope, yeah, Scope, which is immediately adjacent to Age UK. So yeah, I still haven't seen this. And I also did very different feel. It's more comedic, but I'm sure it will be interesting still. I'm a big fan of the it was 90s, wasn't it, or 2000s? No, 90s, I think. Goosebumps TV series, and The Haunting Hour was good. And they very recently made a new Goosebumps series. I've not seen any of the episodes, but I'm sure that will be very good. The Haunting Hour, at least one episode features a character played by William B. Davis. About this monster. William B. Davis's character keeps trying to find a way into the house. I remember it vaguely. I've not seen it in years, but it was a good episode. Tomorrow is going to be chock-a-block, so I have to ring the dentist. It closed over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I think when I was eating yesterday, I somehow lost some of my attachments. I say some, I've noticed at least two are missing. Apparently this is quite common with aligner treatment, or if they're not stuck on that firmly. But yeah, so that they need to be reattached, of course, so treatment can recommence. But I only realised yesterday that I thought this tooth is, after having spikes all over my tooth, over every single tooth, and it's causing so many problems eating, this tooth feels way too smooth. And I realised that the attachment gone, and then I realised there was another attachment missing, so at least two are missing. Presumably, hopefully, they only came off yesterday when I was stuffing my face full of foods, and I wonder what happened if it did happen then. And I just hope they do not charge me for it, considering I'm paying a fortune as it is. I hope they do not charge me to have new ones put on. I'm sure they can afford to do them without extra cost. But yeah, so that brings me to the other thing. First thing tomorrow, I need to call a dentist. Oh wait, I don't have a working phone. There is a way of calling via the laptop. There are multiple ways now, actually. Via websites or via sync Windows, or that would need my Android phone to be working properly. But in my backup phone, my UK FBI phone, I can, if I have enough credit, I should be able to call the dentist, because it's slow and buggy. But phone calls, slowish, maybe back is a bit harsh, but although WhatsApp is not working, I should be able to make a standard phone call. Otherwise, I'll just have to email the dentist and ask them to email me a confirmation for an appointment. But yeah, so everything grinds to halt. My friend I've not seen in ages, I saw him send me a message on Facebook. Although I can access Facebook through my laptop, I've got so many tabs to navigate, and I'm trying to get them down, but I keep opening up Facebook to try and keep up. So I should be able to send him a message today, hopefully. So I do not keep him waiting. That's very kind of him to be thinking of me. Yeah, Well, once the battery dies, I'm confident it will start working okay-ish for the time being. But this is a warning sign that I may need to expect this to be happening more and more often. Maybe if I can back up all of my data, I could even get away with a factory reset. But better to do that when I do have a new phone. Because clearly, it's a few years old. Back everything up, factory reset, and use it as a backup phone. Maybe. Definitely use it as a backup phone. It will not be wasted. But yeah, I was going to say something, but I forgot what it was. Um, okay, sleepy. Do you know? I had a dream about the general election. It was a never-ending nightmare experience. We had the election on 4th of July, wasn't it, just weeks ago? Um, I think. Oh, actually, here now multiple components. One of my brothers was in his house and he was hiding things in a cupboard, clothing or something, and I was unsure whether or not I was allowed to use it in order to stash my own items in the cupboard, and so there was like a territorial boundary thing, which is interesting. Talk about politics and boundary. I can see where my mind was going. I suppose boundaries, electoral boundaries and stuff, but and then I think somebody was reading a newspaper, maybe my mother at some point, and said there's going to be a general election. But in the dream world, it clearly was post 4th of July because of mine and everyone else's reaction. We were thinking, not another election. That's just ridiculous. That I was clearly I know I was thinking that, and everyone else was. So in the dream world, it was clearly post 4th of July. So any time after 4th of July, and suddenly there was another election, and I was thinking this is plain ridiculous. But I think before I even woke up, I realised that there were serious flaws within the dream because it was the Conservatives that were calling for the election, and maybe there was some loophole that I forgot about. That made sense in this dream world. That oh yes, there was apparently if something like 2/3 of or unless I thought about this after waking up, but it may have been that if 2/3 of the House called for an early general election, it's then you have to have it can be granted or you have to have a debate about it in the House of Commons. Um, because I remember saying because apparently the Conservatives were saying that I don't know. Oh yes, I think I heard Rishi Sunak or somebody they in the dream they were saying we need to be a refreshed opposition. We need to seize every opportunity to get into power after just surviving and being nearly wiped out in some ways. Um, yeah, I remember thinking in the dream that they should be biding their time. Surely this is a strategic misstep to say the least. And I'm no fan of the Conservatives, of course, just being objective. This does not make sense. But yes, so somehow they treat. I could have sworn Boris Johnson was in a dream vaguely. That doesn't make sense. But maybe it was not. Maybe just my mind is adding him in now. No, I think he probably was in a dream where his face swam into view briefly. And yeah, I remember saying or thinking, and or someone else was that if the Conservatives had won the election, obviously they would not be asking for another election. And so we'll talk about how this is just so political, so clearly not in the best interest of the country. We've just survived, just gone through the ordeal of who do we vote for, do we vote, how do we vote, why do we vote, all the usual nonsense, lies, deceptions. We're trying to get some continuity back into government. Now you want to. I remember thinking, come on, whether you believe in Labour or not, you need continuity. Nothing's happening if you keep switching party in government every 5 minutes. But yeah, somehow they got away with it. There was a new election announced, and I was thinking, this is ridiculous. I was panicking. This is a never-ending nightmare. Changing prime ministers every year or so, then changing government. It's ridiculous, but yeah, thankfully it was just a dream. It's over for another 5 years. I was hesitating because I think you are still allowed to call an early general election even after the Fixed Terms Parliament Act, which David Cameron brought in. I think you're still allowed to call an early general election, but yeah, that was something of a night. I thought, here we go again. It's never ending. So maybe I should not upload this video in case Conservatives get the idea to try and call for an early general election. That's just plain ridiculous. But it shows how things are. That I think I was fairly cognizant that it was a dream of some sort at some point, but it was also still quite believable because it's a never-ending nightmare. It's just, oh, here we go again. No continuity. Let's just we don't like the results. Let's screw the results. Let's just have another election. What I mean, because yeah, 'cause I remember a character, so to speak. I think it was Rishi Sunak, who is an interesting character for negative reasons sometimes. Um, he said something like, "We will accept the election as being legally binding." Or I was thinking about my, outside of the dream world self, my broader reality, my broader self, my broader knowledge, that he would be aware of that he would agree to those terms. And yet, in this dream world, which at some point I believe to be real, if not for the whole duration of the dream, he was essentially saying the results are not legally binding. We don't like the results. Let's have another election. So yeah. Anyway, that was a dream. That's just a dream. That's not happening. As far as I'm aware, there are not plans for a second 2024 general election. I don't think any of us could survive that. Yeah. Anyway, so and then at Age UK, no, sorry, there was British Heart Foundation. These were not from Age UK. It was British Heart Foundation where I purchased these DVDs. So the trouble is, I've not seen it, but I've seen clips. But I know Shakira sings a very catchy and lively theme song. So that's £1 with three with sleeves actually. But yeah, two Disney films. I was going to repeat what it says they're classics, but this is quite a new film. Should we call this a classic already? Number 54, you can keep track. But yeah, they call it a classic. And a classic which the woman serving me at BHF was remarking. She said it's something like, oh, when she saw the very cute dog from Lady and the Tramp. Didn't they make a sequel to Lady and the Tramp? I think they did. I'm pretty sure I've not seen it. But a classic spaghetti romance. And I'm pretty sure that I saw Lady and the Tramp at the cinema. Yeah, we saw it at the cinema when I was a child. I'm very, very certain, yeah. Lady and the Tramp, classic, number 15 of Hounslow. Suicide Squad, I still have not seen all the way through it. It has Margot Robbie, who you may know, her character was Donna, wasn't it? You may know her from Neighbours. She played Donna, and she's been in all sorts of films since. And Will Smith is in it, and some other characters. That guy looks like Wade from the Marvel Universe, Wade Wilson. And there's at least one sequel. Is there two sequels? No, there's... Anyway, there's... this is the first one anyway. But, and then we have another classic. I'm actually thinking I may have purchased this already, so I have to check. But the classic Monsters Inc. They finally made a sequel quite recently, didn't they? It's one of the things, you don't have to make a sequel. Usually Disney can not help itself, but I'm sure the sequel worked well. But yeah, it shows how much charm this movie had. Like with Incredibles, it took ages for a sequel, but people are still talking about the film. There's still so much adoration for it. This is really good, charming, shall we say, new generation for the time. Obviously now we could call this a classic, but early 2000s, 2001 I can see there for an award, I think, probably, yeah, produced 2000 or 2001. So at the time, new generation, new breed of Disney film, very classic. Now this one, I cannot comment on this because I've not seen the movie and I did not even mean to purchase it. Because they have these very tight racks for the DVDs and the CDs at PHF because they have so many, and they've left some. They start leaving some in boxes outside the shop now, but they still have loads indoors and they still have loads inside. I was picking this up. I was having a look, but I think it's more so I could see what was behind it, and I started to collect other things and. it was only when I was paying for the items, and she's going through them. Oh, Lady in the Tramp, and then I saw this. I thought, whoops, that's not supposed to be in there. And I thought, oh, whatever. It's only £1. Uh, Rec for record. Experience Sphere. Apparently the scariest film ever. But yeah, I'm not sure if I consented to actually buying this. As in, I did not mean to. This was not a part of my thought process. It just, it sounded interesting. I do remember the bit about being the scariest film ever. Of course, that's very subjective, but that got my attention, I suppose. But yeah, I've not seen it. I'm not sure if I've even heard about it. Are you familiar with it? It's an 18, so you expect some gruesome factors, maybe strong language. Oh, it sounds like it's a bit like the Blair Witch Project, maybe. Um, hmm. Something evil is spreading throughout the building, out of control. Hmm. It kind of found footage Cloverfield-esque experience, maybe. Um, but yeah, I didn't mean to purchase this, but it's fun being surprised. So I have no preconceptions really. I can just, yeah, when I have my DVD drive with me, I can watch this and see how it goes. I do not normally watch horror films. I suppose because I like things with a story, and they're not known for having stories, are they? It's just jump scares, but sometimes they can be. It could be interesting. As I say, it's not something I normally watch, so that's good as well. It's good to have things that you do like, and that's still a good thing. It's good to have things that surprise you, things that are not up your usual tree that you like to bark up. And now another classic, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Did they make a sequel to this? I believe they did, or I may be thinking of another one. There's another somewhat similar, not really that similar film. Oh, I just remembered Rover Dangerfield. I was trying to think of the title. I was going to say the guy who voiced the dog voiced Mr. Burns' son in The Simpsons, and I suddenly remembered the movie Rover Dangerfield. I don't believe I have it on DVD yet, but I used to like watching that on Cartoon Network along with All Dogs Go to Heaven. It's very charming, not incredibly animalistic. I mean, in some ways, when one of the dogs, I'm not sure if they even spoke much. They were, yeah, more instinctual, barking and biting. This gangster mobster dog. Um, but yeah, I mean, they are anthropomorphic to a degree. Well, not really anthropomorphic actually. Well, sort of, I guess. I've not seen it in ages, but I do remember it was. And it's should I give the a plot spoiler? I mean, it is called All Dogs Go to Heaven, but it's charming because the dog dies, the main character dies, and that's to be able to do. I mean, to be able to do that and not to be removed from humanity, you'd be cast down to hell for even conceiving or creating a movie where a dog is killed. To be able to do that and to make a memorable, classic, a heartfelt story, that does take some skill. The voice cast. Oh, is that a rabbit? A voice cast. No, that's a dog fused with a rabbit. I'm not sure. Um, no, that's a type of dog. Oh, there's the gangster dog that I was talking about. I think they were smoking a cigar in one scene. Um, but yeah, the voice cast was good. Um, Dundee Lewis, Burt Reynolds. Oh, that's going back. Vic Tayback, Melbourne Moore. Some of these I'm not really familiar with, but I will recognise their voice work, I'm sure, when I watch it. But yeah, it's, I suppose it's about a girl's love for her dog and vice versa, from what I remember. The escapades they go on, the dogs in particular, and the things he would do to protect her. I remember he's allowed, I think there's this angel dog or something that allows him to visit her one more time after he's died. Um, but yeah, it's a classic movie about loyalty and I mean, I suppose, yeah, loyalty, not just because of the classic dogs are a man's best friends and they're loyal and so forth, but it is a good portrayal of loyalty. As I say, I've not seen it in years, but it's coming back to me now. I'm starting to remember. Um, just what happened. No, 1991, that's a year before I was born. 1991, yeah. Cartoon Network used to show it quite a lot, along with other classics like the BFG. They used to have a movie night. I don't know if they still do it, and I do not remember which day of the week it was, or if it was a weekly thing. But they used to have a movie night, which was one of the best parts of the Cartoon Network outside of the other classic shows that they showed. Um, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Rover Dangerfield. They used to have some real classics. I recommend this if you like animals, if you like humans, if you like loyalty, if you like an interesting story, because it's not quite as straightforward as some would imagine, especially if it's universals. They are aiming it at children or saying it's child friendly, yet it contains the very extremely mature subject of death, that the dog dies. We know how upset people got when Optimus Prime was killed in the 1986 movie. Uh, so strongly were people upset that apparently their children couldn't sleep and so forth, that they had to bring Optimus Prime back into the story. Here you're killing a dog. The dog drowns, I think, from what I remember. You could say that's completely depraved, but it's done in not simply an artistic way, but there's meanings. It's realistic. It's a children's story, or it's child friendly somewhat. But like with Iron Man, which I was watching, sorry, the Iron Giant. It was originally called Iron Man, but because of Marvel's Iron Man, they changed. I think some of the localizations of the books and the movie into Iron Giant. Um, the robot, and some may say he's not alive, I suppose, but to the boy Hugo, I think his name was, he's very much alive. He dies, although he starts putting himself back together at the end of the movie. If you read the original book, that's something interesting. I remember reading that at school actually, where he fights this dragon, and there's a very interesting story in the sequel of sorts as well, from what I was reading earlier this year. So you're dealing with loss. You're dealing with in Iron Giant. They never really show the boy's father, which is very much a Disney thing to do, where one parent is missing, and it's done in other shows. So again, it's about that showing of maturity without overwhelming children. Everybody will, a child and adult, appreciate it and receive it differently. But the idea is not to overwhelm, but to have mature themes present without overwhelming, without dragging one through the mud and saying this is life, this is what happens, dogs die. It's about our hope, whether you believe in something like heaven or souls or whatever. That's I don't even think about that really, even though it's in a title. It's not really about that. That's just a sort of cute ending. It's about the relationships and the feelings endure through the trials. Obviously, you could see it as a sort of spiritual story, I suppose, but it's not really spiritual at all. It's just about that endurance of loyalty. Yeah, I mean, you've got that cute artwork. The sticker's obscuring slightly, but the girl, I cannot recall her name, but the girl hugging her dog. Um, it, yeah, it's cute. On the one hand, you have the perspective of the animals, their world, like with The Secret of Nim and The Secret of Nim 2, showing how the rats, the mice, the owls operate. You have that idea. You're seeing you're seeing things through the dog's eyes and through the child's eyes, but really it's about the relationships that they have with one another, and that's really good. That you have that innocence, that enduring nature of their relationship. So yeah, they're definitely one to watch. From the director of An American Tale, which I've not seen before, but maybe I should. Yeah, definitely. So those were my oh, those were my most recent purchases. I have this farm food thing that's been lying around. I think there are some tokens. I believe that's my nearest farm food is in Sturchley, I believe, which is quite near to Surrey Oak. These expired now. Prices locked in until at least 22nd of July. Weren't there vouchers somewhere? Oh no, there's no vouchers for this. Oh yes, there are vouchers. Oh, expire 2nd of July, 22nd July, which is tomorrow. Today's the 21st. Oh gosh. Oh dear. We have farm food sirloin steaks. This is good because it helps me pronounce words. Because I have my aligners and you have to change how you speak, and some of the letters are difficult to pronounce. These vegetable pat, you have to change this the speed of your speech as well. I've noticed, or at least in my case. And those vegetable patties, it's a rip-off. They're getting more and more expensive. They used to be about 80p a pound. Um, it's hard to find them under a pound these days. They're quite nice, the vegetarian ones. I mean, not just the original patty company, but the other ones, the Jamaican patty, I forgot what they're called. And there are three main brands that you tend to see. They get so expensive. Lux toilet tissue, 69p. Ultra purpose kitchen towel, £1. Lemon kitchen towel, 2.59. Spicy chicken fillets, buffalo shredded chicken, crispy shredded chicken. Okay, I get the point. You like chicken. Meat ball, mozzarella pasta, chicken and chorizo rice, chicken and everything's chicken. Smoked haddock fillets, Atlantic cod fillet. Oh my gosh, how many fillets do you have? If you like fillets, then go to Farm Foods for your stuff. Mars ice cream. I think I tried that a long time ago. $5.75. Older ones: Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So yeah, you get these through the door quite a lot, I think. So if you do shop at Farm Foods, you could make a saving maybe £2 off £25. Yeah, you have to spend quite a bit, of course. £5 off £60, £15 off £150. Wow. Laundry detergent offerings, very original. £1 each for milk and semi-skimmed milk. Tiger Bloom, £1. Butter, $1.29. This is good for the historical record, so we can check back and look at prices a year from now, 2 years from now. 39p for 6 crumpets from Farm Foods. 49p for 6 pancakes. That's what I was looking for at Aldi, to drizzle some honey over, but they did not seem to have any of those savoury-esque pancakes or neutral pancakes. They didn't have any pancakes. Sweet, sweet, what no, I'm talking about sweet would be more ideal. But I like to mix sweet and savoury anyway, so it's okay. Premium banana, 79p. Kellogg's Frosties, 3.89. How expensive is cereal? Unless you go to Aldi, I'm sure other supermarkets, I know other supermarkets do have their own branded stuff. I don't know what the prices of that. Aldi do have some fairly cheap cereal boxes from what I remember. Any four for £6 or 6 for £8 on Pepsi, Cola, Coke, Iron Brew, Fanta. They're all the same thing, really. Don't they all just taste the same to you? I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe my taste buds are dull. Walker's, 3.89 each. Dairy milk, £1. Oh, lemon and herb, something like that. Boneless bucket. Oh no, don't say boneless bucket. It reminds me of boneless chicken from Cow and Chicken, that shredded cartoon, which we don't talk about, and yet now I'm talking about it, so therefore we do talk about it, even though we didn't wish to talk about it, we are talking about it because we are talking about it, so therefore we are talking about it. Here we go again. There was this episode, so now I've got to give the story for anyone who does not know. There was this episode where chicken is a chicken, as you can imagine, although in Cow and Chicken nothing makes sense. You'd expect chicken to be the cow, actually. So in actuality, that is rather strange. Chicken is actually a chicken, and he has a cousin called Boneless Chicken. I'm not making this up. I'm sure this is what I'm scarred for life by this cartoon where they had Satan riding around on his red shiny bottom. I mean, who creates these perverted cartoons, and why are they not thrown in prison for life? It is scary. And Aya Baboon, where the devil guy crossed over Iron Weasel, Aya Baboon. Yeah, and there was this one episode. I keep bringing this up because it's in my memory so much. The cow, the cow, and by the way, their parents, you never see the top halves of the parents, I suppose, because they never wanted to discuss whether or not the chicken and the cow are biological offspring of the parents, because in that case, what would the parents look like? We can see half of them look human, but they never wanted to get that deep into the biology, I think. but the cow had a pet. Stay with me. That's not the strangest part. The cow had a pet, and the pet was a snake. Oh, that's not. Yeah, your brother is a chicken. That's not going to cause problems. And the snake consumed the chicken, and the chicken somehow crawled out of the snake. Don't. This is not an exaggeration. This is what happened. I'm sure if there are some copies of the DVDs that have not yet been burned, you'll be able to. And by burn, I do not mean the digital sense. I mean sent to the fairy pits of hell, because that's where they belong. I'm offending anybody who's a fan of this show. Um, it was just a very quirky card. It was very different. It gets the rules for being different. It was very different. I'm not quite sure what the creators were trying to achieve, but scarring children, it's not something you should try to accomplish, but you definitely achieved that. It's not an achievement, but you achieved it. Factually speaking, you brought about that result. Oh yeah, the other thing I purchased from Age UK. Um, sorry, the other thing I purchased from Scope on Thursday was this light box. So I had something similar added. I added maybe years ago now to my Amazon basket, eBay basket, maybe, or both. So I can have messages appear. One was going to be about Lord Freezer when I'm doing spoofs. So talking about Freezer and Lord Freezer, it comes up with Lord Freezer um, saying something insulting about me or something. Um, I saw this for only £1, and I thought this, even if it's not quite what I was looking for, this would be good to experiment with. It was £5.99 and £2.99. There's another sticker underneath actually, and then finally £1. Although that's not a scope sticker actually, so this is from maybe it's from Wilco before they shut down. That could be a Wilco sticker or two. That's my stomach rumbling. Please ignore. Um, So I thought, even if some of the letters are missing, I could buy replacements or something. I'm sure you just need thin plastic or paper for the letters to be able to shine through. So the messages will not scroll. You have to put the letters on, but it will be something to play about with. And guess how many letters were inside? A very round figure. None. There were no letters inside. Well, I only paid £1, and it this is what I get for not checking the products in store. Um, It uses 4 AAA batteries, and I've tested it does light, so the light bulb is working fine. I just need to find something which is not too dense, something fairly hollow, um, something quite transparent, ideally, or at least translucent, so that it can project. Okay. But yeah, let me get some. I'll kindly suggest that there is a bit of a design flaw. As you'll see, it's very hard. Okay, maybe it's this side, because now it's making me look like I'm making this up. It's very hard to. There we go. Yeah, they keep popping out. It's this side where they keep popping out. It pushes the second one up. So what you have to do is. Oops. I mean, granted, I've one that's a different brand, but they are the same size, so I shouldn't. So yeah, a bit of a problem with the spring. So what you do is you then shove this back on quickly. Oh, it's actually staying down anyway. There we go. And as you'll see, there's the switch. There we go. We have light. So it does work. I just need the letters. So I can experiment with it and also look into the original idea of buying these neon scrolling lights. You pre-program the message so I can have it. I think you can have them on the timer. So I'm doing my spoof nonsense, and then a message comes up behind me for the viewer to see where Lord Freezer says something. Lord Freezer disagrees with Barry's defamation against him or something. But I only paid £1, and I've never had one of these, so it's fun to experiment with. I just wish the battery stayed in easier. That's a quick update for now.